Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith, and Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on these wildfires in Arizona that have prompted evacuations. So, through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says a rapidly moving wildfire northwest of the Grand Canyon National Park in Arizona has forced the closure of the park's north rim and triggered evacuation orders for area residents. The White Sage fire, sparked by lightning on July 9th, has scorched roughly 1,000 acres near Jacob Lake. As of Thursday, the blaze remains out of control and actively expanding, described as 0% contained by officials. The combination of high temperatures, gusty winds, low humidity, and dry vegetation has created dangerous conditions, fueling the fire's swift advance. Emergency responders have been battling the flames from the ground and in the air using fire retardants since Wednesday. Due to the fire's progression toward Jacob Lake, which is now under evacuation orders, all visitors on the North Rim are required to evacuate immediately, Grand Canyon Park staff said in an alert issued on Thursday. Part of the nearby highway, State Route 89A, has been closed until further notice, with the Arizona Department of Transportation warning drivers to expect extended delays. The wildfire threat extends beyond Arizona. On Thursday, all staff and visitors were evacuated from Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park in western Colorado, about 260 miles southwest of Denver, after lightning ignited fires at opposite ends of the park. The Upper Colorado River Interagency Fire Management Unit said on Thursday it was working diligently with partners to respond to approximately 10 wildfires caused by lightning across the dispatch area. And then you see this right here: wildfire alerts around UK, and millions face hosepipe bans as heat wave sets in. So hey, there's a lot of fires going on, man. There's wildfires happening in Canada, I believe. There's wildfires happening here in the U.S. There's wildfires happening in the UK. It's like, hey, the Lord is definitely visiting with that fire. Isaiah 29:6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And clearly, that's what the Lord is doing. That's why these fires are just popping up everywhere. You know, whether it's as a result of the humidity, whether it's a result of lightning strikes, whether it's man-made fires. You know, hey, these fires are active. And just as myself and all the other sincere brothers have been saying, it's just going to get worse. There's just going to be more and more fires popping up, you know, spreading out, just destroying everything. And the Lord is going to make these fires harder and harder to put out. You know, he's going to make these fires a lot more intense. He's going to make them move a lot faster. It's just going to be more and more difficult for the firefighters to stop these fires. And that's the thing. When it comes to these fires, there's something at least that they can do, you know. They have, you know, the hoses and the planes that drop the fire retardant from the planes over the fire. But when it comes to things like tropical storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, there's really nothing you can do about that except get out of the way. And soon even these fires are going to get like that. They're going to just be so intense and moving so fast that there's nothing anybody's going to be able to do to stop them. This is the time and season that we are in. And a lot of people don't even know that. 2 Timothy 3:1, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And that's right. Dangerous times. And we clearly are living in dangerous times. You know, you got wars breaking out in different parts of the world. You know, the cost of living is just steady going up, and it's making it harder for people to, you know, move around in their day-to-day. Because, you know, it's harder for people to afford gas, to buy groceries, to pay their bills. You know, you got the fires, you got the torrential rainstorms, you got the flash floods, you got the tropical storms, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, the earthquakes. You know, you got the violence increasing, you know, the shootings and stabbings. You know, there's just so much going on in the world that anybody with any form of common sense would be like, yeah, we're living in the last days. Because it's just steady getting more and more dangerous and chaotic out here. But see, those of us who fear the Lord, we're not worried about this. Proverbs 19:23, the fear of the Lord Yahweh tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. So if you're fearing the Lord and you're moving with that fear and your actions are showing that you fear the Lord, then the Lord, he's going to protect you. He's not going to send a wildfire upon you if you fear him. And even if he did have a wildfire, you know, in your general area, he would make a way for you to escape, you know, you and your loved ones. The Lord is always going to protect those who fear him and who are moving in righteousness. Majority of these people out here, however, are doing the opposite. And that's why they're getting hit with these heavy judgments. And the Lord is not making a way for them to escape. Proverbs 22:3, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And when you look up the definition of prudent, it means wise. So those of us of the whole elect, the sincere brothers and sisters, through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you know, being placed upon us and us being blessed with that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, we are wise. You know, and the Lord has blessed us with the ability to see the evil that's coming, you know, and we're able to hide ourselves under the hedge of protection of the Lord. But these simple people, these carnal, wicked people out here, there is no protection for them. And that's why they're just passing on and getting punished. They're just going on about their wicked lives, you know, just doing whatever wicked, demonic, unhinged thing that they've been doing, and then the judgment of the Lord just overtakes them and destroys them. You know, in 1 Peter 3:12, it says that the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers, but the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. And there's a majority of people out here, men and women, who are doing evil in the sight of the Lord. And then they get punished accordingly. Whether that's them dying in a car crash, in a shooting, in a stabbing, in a fire, in a tornado, in a hurricane, in an earthquake, or whatever other way the Lord decides that he wants to punish them. You know, the Lord is not messing around. And those of us of the hopeful elect, we fully understand that. You know, we fear the Lord. Majority of people out here, They don't have that fear. And you can tell by the way that a lot of people out here move. The way they move, the things they say, the way they act, you can tell that a lot of people out here don't fear the Lord. Because they wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing or saying the things that they say if they did. Because they'd be afraid of the consequences. But as the days go by, we're going to continue to see these wicked people receive the consequences for their wicked actions. And we can't feel bad for them because the men of the Lord are everywhere. The men of the Lord are all across America. The men of the Lord are all across the world preaching the word, warning people. So these people can't act like they don't know. They know what time it is. They just don't care. And that ignorance is going to get them destroyed. But if that's the way the Lord wants it to play out, then so be it. Those of us of the hopeful elect, we just have to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. That we're watching and reading and praying and fasting and, rehearsing the righteous acts daily and following the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. We have to make sure that we ourselves are locked in. Because we can't control what anybody else does. To be honest, we can't even control what we do. That's all up to the Lord. And that's why we have to constantly pray that the Lord does not take take a righteous spirit off of us. Because we don't want to be out here moving like these wicked people, because then we're going to get what these people are getting, and it's nothing good. Those of us of the hopeful elect, we want to endure unto the end and be saved. We're not trying to get destroyed. We're not trying to die the death of the wicked. Yeah, but as, the days go by, we're going to see a lot more wildfires and tornadoes and hurricanes and flash floods and things like that, lightning strikes. It's just a sign of the times. These are beautiful signs of the times. It's letting us know that we're getting closer and closer to the end. Getting closer and closer to Adawan Ratazah getting delivered up out of this wicked place. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. Closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakudash, the water Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are still fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. And shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up. Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.